Steve Doctor discusses his interesting family heritage, the many entertaining stories from his childhood, and the traditions that have grown from when he was a child to now that he has children of his own. In this upcoming clip, you will learn about the tale of how the Doctor family got their last name and the traditions of Thanksgiving that have been occurring for approximately 30 years. He discusses in his interview jokes that were told while he was growing up, as well as interesting childhood memories. This project is considered folklore because it expresses the traditions and stories of the Doctor family, all of which have been passed down throughout the generations. My experience with this project included interviewing my father and learning about our family heritage and how folklore connects to all of that. I learned about the interesting life he led and how all things can be considered folklore.
Let us begin. Right? Are there any family stories or things that have been passed down from generation to generation or anything of that sort?
Well, I don't remember anything from when we didn't live in America. Our family, both sides actually, our families came from what was then called Prussia. And I always, as a kid, I always said we came from Prussia because no one knew what Prussia was. It sounds powerful like Russia, but it was Poland. And when I grew up, there were things called Polish jokes, and people used to make fun of people from Poland. You know, how many, I won't say the word, Poland people does it take to screw in a light bulb? You know, oh, one to hold the light bulb, one to hold the ladder, and one to turn the ladder around so the bulb goes in. You know, stupid things like that. So I never, said we were from Poland. We were from Prussia, even though it was the same thing. But our family, both sides were coming from Prussia, and I think both sides came to America in the early 1900s, maybe late 1800s, but early 1900s. They came over on a boat, and, you know, they were looking for a better life, and they were probably persecuted where they were, which was very typical for people of Jewish backgrounds back then. And they were part of all those people who came through Ellis Island. That a lot of people immigrated to America, and then what you would do is you would initially land on Ellis Island, which is outside the Statue of Liberty, where you would be documented, and you would come across, and they would let you in and give you your papers and have you, you know, enter America. And so the first historical story that I ever heard about our family was around how we got our name. And because it's a unique name, the last name Doctor, you know, everybody story, you know, say, oh, Doctor, you know, if you were a doctor, you'd be Doctor, you know. So it's an unusual enough name that people, you know, wonder, how did you get the name Doctor? So as the lore goes, my great-great-grandfather was going across with my great-great-grandmother on the boat, and my great-great-grandmother wasn't feeling very well. She was not feeling well when they landed on Ellis Island. And when they went up to the officials who would, write down all the information about them, there was always a lot of problems there because of language problems. And so my great-great-grandfather was very concerned about my great-great-grandmother, and so was, you know, wanted help, and he knew to say, Doctor, you know, I need a doctor. And so when they said, what's your name? Doctor! What's your name? Doctor! And so we ended up with the last name Doctor, and it's not really our last name. I really don't know what it used to be, but it was from that point on, and so we ended up with that name as we went into America. And I'm sure when we went in, we felt proud about the last name Doctor, because a doctor is such a nice, you know, thing. But these days, all it is people make fun of it, right? But Thanksgiving was kind of became a more important holiday for our family. And I think it became a more important holiday because I moved to Colorado. And up until then, we were all kind of around. We were always home at Thanksgiving. We would get together with the Taffels, or the Taffels would come to our house. But when I moved away, I think that set the precedent for our family to have Thanksgiving, just our family, and not to kind of do it with a whole bunch of others. And so it evolved into the one time that we all really made a point to come back together again. And so, you know, as I moved from Colorado to Rochester, as I got married, as we had kids, Thanksgiving became a time where it was like, well, yeah, we're going to get together for Thanksgiving. That's our family holiday. And it's really turned out to be quite an amazing annual family reunion with its own traditions of playing games and going to the movies and what the dinner is the night before the turkey and who stuffs the turkey and things along that line. There's been this whole folklore being built around this thing, and it'll probably continue generation to generation because it's been such a positive experience going forward.